Guys, today's session is about multiple layers and structures that you can create in your business that will allow you to scale. And it's not just about structure, but I will cover the other aspects, the elements that you need to be able to scale your business. There are actually 7 elements. This is all research based that I'm sharing with you. I've applied almost all of these 7 elements of the business. The first one being strategy. Second is structure. Third is systems. Fourth is the style of management. Fifth is skills. Sixth is staff. And 7 is shared values. They actually come from McKinsey's research. Like I said, I've applied most of this to many of my other businesses, as well as this business on a very it's done up very, very effectively. And I'll share that with you in a lot more detail so you can see for yourself how you can take this and apply to your business, right? I think strategy is something that I've covered many, many times, but I'll just quickly brief it so you can see where we are. Remember, when people get connected to your business, they connect for multiple reasons. They connect for their own reason always. There are always multiple reasons. Someone might connect with you because of the proximity, because you're just close by. Others will connect with you because there's shared values, shared principles. Others will connect with you because they have no choice. They don't have a better choice, okay? Have you ever made a choice between 3 different companies where one was worse than the other, and you just chose the better of the worst ones, if you know what I mean, right? So yeah. People will connect with you for their own reasons, but you got to give them enough reasons to join, right? So if you look at PEN, for example, strategically, we are giving them enough reasons to join, be it technology, be it the structure in and itself and the layers created within the structure. And I'll share with you a lot more. But if you just look at the PEN in and itself, as a technology platform, that's attractive. People want to know, what is this guy doing? I've had people calling me hundreds of times, just asking about what technology am I bringing on the table, okay? What is it that it's going to do for them or for the people that are connected with them? I've had hundreds of people call me. Many of them haven't done business with me. They more likely will over a longer period of time, okay? They will connect with you. They will sometimes observe you for 6 months, 12 months, sometimes for 3, 4 years before they actually approach you. And Lavanya, like I was mentioning you earlier, someone like Warren Buffett would observe a CEO for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years before he would invest in that company, okay? But you got to give them a reason to, first of all, get their attention in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where your strategy comes in, guys. Okay. Now, your strategy could be applied to the technology. It could be applied to your positioning. Remember, strategy in and itself can be applied to every aspect of the business. What do I mean by that? If you look at, for example, any company, let's say you look at Amazon, okay? Amazon could decide to sell one part of their business separately and they still get a lot of money, okay? And they can keep the other parts of the company, right? What do I mean by that? Even as simple as you can walk into a company, let's say there is a 100 employees company, okay? And out of those 100 people, let's say 30 of them are marketing guys, okay? You can walk into that company and say, I want to buy your marketing department. Okay. Depending on the context of the business, you can potentially buy a specific department of a company separately. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So your strategy based on your marketing department can be different from your operational strategy. Okay. And your technological strategy or your technology strategy could be completely different. Okay. So every aspect of your business can have a different strategy, obviously all aligned towards a one single aim, okay? But every one of them could have a different strategy, different positioning or different way of doing things or different creative way of doing things, okay? So if you look at PEN, one of the most attractive things people find, I think, is the technology front. Okay, and that's how PEN gets attention. That's how we, because I'm not Tom Cruise, right? I'm not going to get attention with this looks, right? It's about creating a strategy that gets attention in and itself. Okay, and like I said, that strategy doesn't just apply to one aspect of your business, but it applies to every aspect of your business or every part of the business. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Yes, no? Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Any questions so far on this part?
No.
Okay.
No.
So that strategy, I think I've covered a lot on strategy. You know that you got to be positioned uniquely in some or the other way. You got to have something new you're bringing to the table. I think you know all of that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, once you have clear strategy in and itself at the core of the business and to the layers of the business, right? That's where the structure of the business comes in. Now, you can ask me questions based on your business. Remember, it may or may not apply to some aspects of the business. It may apply to some aspects of the business. It may not necessarily apply to some businesses. It will apply to some businesses. So if you ask me a question based on your business, I will tell you if it's going to apply in your business or this part of the business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I will share that with you. Now, let's come to the structure of the business. Okay, how is your business model at the core structured, allowing you to scale? Okay, now I'll give you an example on PEN. Okay, even though it took me time to get to the point of creating a smoother structure, but now the structure is in place for me to scale. Okay, I think most of you know the PEN structure, but let me just share with you. Okay, we have a referral team now, almost 20 people, if I can remember correctly on top of my head. They can join for absolutely free PEN and refer business to us. Just in the past 1 month, so practically this month, all those 20 people were added to a group, and they've referred me so far about 7 or 8 cases, if I can think on top of my head. Just this month, the team of 20 referral members was recruited, added to a group, agreement sent, and they have referred me 7 or 8 new cases. Okay, that's the first layer. Remember, they're not investing any of their own money. All they're doing is they're calling their friends, family, speaking with people, and they're referring business to PEN. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
It's another aspect that how much of that are we going to close with this COVID situation? That's a different story, right? But there's business coming. As soon as you recruit someone, now they are actually going out there and speaking with their friends, families, because they want to make extra money. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Free for someone to join. Okay. In fact, at the referral level, you obviously have to, give them commissions like SETI does. I'd pay you £100 if you refer a landlord to us who would sign up with us, right? You can offer 200, depending on the lifetime value of your client. You can potentially propose them whatever it is that you want to propose them. Does that make sense? If your lifetime value of your customer is £1,000, you can propose £100. If it's £100,000, you can propose £10,000. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to the point of systems which will allow you to know the lifetime value of your customer. Okay, we're gonna get to that point. Okay, but at the referral level, we, for example, offer 50% commission. So someone brings someone to us, they take on a development loan, bridge loan, or for that matter, any range of services, right? Remember, you gotta have a range of services as well to hire an affiliate team or a referral team. Okay, if you just have one product, people won't be interested. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
We are providing, for example, property finance, property sourcing, builders, architectural services, planning services, training, mentoring, down to even IT services. Pretty much everything that you can imagine under the umbrella of being in property business. Okay. By all means, you can apply the same. But what I'm saying is, for you to recruit someone at that level, you got to have a range of services. If it's just one single service, people are slightly skeptical, okay, to join. And also, they got to see that they can make good money, okay? They got to see that they can make from one referral 500, £1,000. If it's only £100, that's not necessarily a good enough motivator. Does that make sense? Okay. So in our case, someone could refer someone to us and make 10 grand out of a single deal. Okay. And these guys know that it's a property deal, it's a finance deal, you know, build a building project, any of those, like a range of services. Okay. Or they can get as small as maybe a couple of £100 by recommending someone to us, and we provide IT services. Okay. Now on to the second level. The second level of PEN is to join the PEN inner circle. I think you guys observed today, I did the flashback sale, the Black Friday sale, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it yesterday?
Saw it morning.
Okay. But anyway.
Black Friday was yesterday.
Well,
Was
yesterday. So
yesterday, but
I've actually done it late. Okay. But anyway, that's fine. So the second layer is the PPN inner circle. Okay. Now, Lavanya, you observed when Susanna shared as well that you got to have a circle where people start to trust you. You get them over the line of trust, right?
That's right.
You can charge whatever you like for that, because irrespective of what you charge, what matters is that you get them to pull out their wallet and pay you something. So now they trust you. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. Irrespective of what they pay you. Okay. You can charge like as little as £10 a month. Like, for example, Harry is doing, right? I don't know if he's charging 10 or 20, but you know what I mean, right? You got to create that inner circle, and you got to have, you got to list the benefits that you potentially provide. Okay. So if you see the benefits that we are providing with the inner circle, you know that the value of those are a lot more, right? But remember, I want to bring people into the inner circle. In fact, let me share with you one thing yesterday that happened. Inner circle only started this month, guys. Remember?
Yes.
I had a call from one of the inner circle members yesterday. He's picked up a contract of £200,000 building contract.
Okay. From our groups.
From the PN inner circle. It's in and itself just from the PN inner circle. Okay. So there's two members in that group. One is Philip, one is Mohammed. And that's fine. I can give the names because they are inner circle members. Mohammed needed a builder, and Philip is a builder based in the local region. So they managed to speak with each other, and now he's doing that project as far as I know. He called me yesterday. In fact, he asked me, would you like anything out of it? I said, you know, there's no agreement in place for me to charge anything, but if you want to share something with me at the end of it, I'll leave it to you. Okay. Okay. So just so you know that that's working. Okay. But remember, my aim is to grow that as much as I can, because as soon as you get someone over the line and they pay you either £10 or £20, now they're not skeptical about. Remember, the biggest challenge for you to make a sale is the trust. Do they trust you or do they not? And you got to create a layer where people get over that line. For example, Tanuji, for you, it could be you can create an inner circle membership for like, I don't know, £50 a year, or like 10 pence, whatever it is. And you say, you know what, I'm going to give everyone the knowledge on the legal side of property. Oh, so sorry, not legal. So the taxation side of property, the taxation side of property. Okay. And you don't have to even do anything. All you do is you record webinars and put them on autopilot. Right. So you decide, I'm going to invest 5 hours of my time to record these webinars, and you give those webinars away in that membership. And then that will allow you to, because remember, for them to join, they have to pay you. As soon as they pay you, you're more likely to get them to sign up to your accountancy practice. Does that make sense? Yeah. Or for that matter, you can also join, like SETI does, you can recommend people in your emails and your, all the marketing that you do, that we offer £100 for every referral, or £200 for every referral. Okay. So that would be your free layer. The second layer would be your inner circle membership. Like I said, it could be as little as £50 a year. Okay. I am pretty sure, Lavanya, correct me if I'm wrong. Would you pay £50 a year to understand all the deeper taxation questions?
Yes.
Okay. £50 a year. Would you pay that?
Yes, definitely.
Taraji, that's the answer to your question. Hi, Seti.
Morning, bro. How are you guys?
Good. Yourself?
Sorry for joining in late. Just
No
short of, we've got a few people ill today, so I've had to come in, and I was going to do this at home, but now I'm having to do sales, lettings, and a few other things.
No worries. No worries. So Tanji, you got the answer to your question here that, you know, people would be happy to pay you £50 a year. Remember, the only time you can charge more is when you can add more benefits. I'll let you decide what more benefits can you add to this. Okay. Remember, everyone has their own business and their own strategy. Okay. So you got to decide how many more benefits can you add to on top of all this. I've added a lot more benefits to my inner circles to be able to charge, you know, £1 a day or £365 a year. Okay. Or in fact, most of the people who've actually joined, they're actually paying monthly, which is £40 a month. Okay. So you have to add more benefits to be able to, for people to join, but I'm pretty sure people will be happy to pay £50 a year or whatever to get their deeper questions answered through automated webinars. Remember, for you, it's a matter of, you know what, a single day, 4 or 5 hours of recording and you're done. That's your inner circle membership applied. Okay. To the third layer, which is for us as PEN trainings, right? Which is what you see now. This is getting recorded, it's getting uploaded on the server, and they can subscribe for as little as £3 a day. I'll let you decide what could be your another layer. Okay. You can definitely choose. There's multiple ways of doing that. Every single person sitting here already has some knowledge that they can package and sell. Okay. And I'd recommend you to do that because the aim isn't to make money, but get people to a point where they start to invest with you at the top level. Okay. Let's say I get to a point where we go and do crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding for PEN as a business. Okay. I can potentially approach every person connected, not just to the network, but the referral team, the inner circle members, the trainings and the reps, and say, hey, you know what? Would you like to buy shares of the company? Does that make sense, guys? So you are creating a structure in place, attracting more people into the system. So eventually you get to a point where people actually invest with you. That is the main aim. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, Jack.
Okay. Again, with PEN, the 4 layers that we've created is join as an affiliate, join as a referral member for free, get commissions. Second layer is join and PEN inner circle, X number of benefits. Get the trainings, X number of benefits, and then join the reps team, X number of benefits. Okay. And every layer has been tested at every single point to make sure that it's priced right. Again, going back to the 7 P's of marketing. If you don't know, you already have the document, you can read it. It's price, positioning, product, you know, there's 7 P's of marketing, very basic, you can read it online. Okay. But you got to apply all 7 P's of that to be able to assess if your product at every single layer of your business structure is to the point, right? It works. Does that make sense? You can stretch it a little bit, but you got to make sure that it works. Okay. And at the core, if you look at PEN, even though at the front end, it's a property business, property technology, property sourcing, property finance, and everything else about the property, at the back end, the structure is like a network marketing model, right? Okay. We are working slowly towards that. Does that make sense? So I can potentially take that and walk into a different country, hire a manager to grow a network marketing business. Does that make sense? It'll be just a bit more localized.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
It'll just be a bit more localized. So this is the structure. So you see the layers and you see the main structure, which is the network marketing model, and the layers on top of it, allowing you to scale. Any questions so far? You gotta have questions. Anyone, any questions? Oh, good. I'm hoping that you'd be able to take this and apply to your business. Right. That leads to the third, which is systems. Now you're going to see So you see the front end system where I think you guys already see me when someone puts a property on a PN WhatsApp group. I always go back and say, well, not always, but in many cases I try and do when I can is, feel free to upload your property on PN and have investors call you directly for free. That is your first layer of the system. Yep. The second layer of the system is coming, which is the internal CRM system, allowing everyone to be able to upload their properties on the system, allowing others to track it as well. So for example, Lavanya would be able to track my deals and everyone's deals in this PN representative team. Does that make sense? And you would be able to do the same. So you'd be able to see pretty much deals of every single one of us and then see that and say, hey, you know what? I can match this to my investor. Okay. And then potentially allowing you to get more deals done. Would that get people's attention to join that system? Yes or no?
Definitely it will.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think I'd be able to charge for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to add that into one of these layers and to start to charge more. I'm not going to create another layer. I'm just going to add this benefit to one of these layers and charge more on one of these benefits, one of these layers. Okay. That's all it is. Okay. So that's your one layers of the system. Systems can be anything. I mean, pretty much your CRM system to be able to track your leads, to be able to track your operational activities. For example, in the case of Tanuji, his operations are very, very, like pretty much 90% of his business is just operations, right? How do you track that? Do you use the software?
Yes, we have commercial softwares, so they follow the
stuff like Sage and account.
Yeah, Sage and there we have like some other cloud-based softwares. Yes,
cloud-based software. So every business is different, but every business needs to have multiple systems in place to be able to allow you to scale. Remember, you can't do everything manually, guys. It's just impossible. And the more you use these systems, the more it allows you to put it in one of these layers and charge more. Okay. Potentially, for example, someone like Tanuji, or for that matter, Seti, could systemize and outsource this to a country like India or Philippines or any of these countries, reducing their operational expenses, in some cases even up to 90%. Okay. I'll give you an example. I was connected with someone who had about 400 people working for him. Okay. A close friend at one point. Now I'm not connected with him anymore, but obviously, life moves on. He was employing 400 people, and he decided to take the whole operations to India. Within 2 years, his operational expenses had gone down by 90%. 90% to a company that actually potentially employs 400 people, guys. His profits, 90% operational expenses down, means that your profits are potentially tripling, if not. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tanuji here.
Yep, makes sense.
So you gotta use systems in place. This applies to SETI you as well. Okay, you gotta have systems in place. In your case, even though operations are heavy, at the same time they're UK based, even then you can delegate a lot by systemizing it to any of these countries where the labor is cheaper, allowing you to reduce your operational expenses by at least 20 or 30%. I think you're already focused on that. You're working towards that. Yes. Okay. So you gotta have systems in place, because if your operational expenses are high, you're more likely to be not. Remember remember this, if you remember from me, your team anywhere between 5 and 50 is the worst place to be in. Tanuji, this is for you as well. Okay. And for SETI and for me, this applies to everyone, every business. A team between one-man band to about a team of 5 is always very profitable. Anywhere between 5 and 50 is a hell. Okay. You want to get over the 50 employees mark to be able to feel that freedom. Okay, you'll be profitable, you'll have more freedom, you'll have a decent business with a good, really, good equity value, but anywhere between 5 and 50 will always remain a challenge. Okay, so you want to make sure that you go past that 50 mark as soon as possible. Okay, so that's your systems, guys. Now, style of management. Many people, when they start a business and then they start to scale, they don't want to easily take on board advisors. It's always a good practice to bring a board advisor on board, bring someone as a board advisor that has been through the stages, allowing you to scale faster, guys. A board advisor may only come once a month or once in 6 months. You compensate for their time. It could be £1,000 a day, £2,000 a day, or more, depending on the kind of person it is. But it's always a good practice, because that £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 or £5,000 that you'll pay him will reward you back many, many times over. Okay, that person needs to be influential, needs to be well known in the industry, needs to have the context allowing you to scale, as well as obviously the management skills or the leadership skills, and being able to attract more investors in your business. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Also, what I mean by style of management, again, I'm only covering the basics here, guys. I can cover a lot more deeper into it, but I'm covering the basics for you. Style of management also means everyone is different, right? And they have to be different. Not everyone can be the same. But for example, my style of management is more motivational. Okay, it's always like, I want to go on and motivate someone or encourage someone to say, you know what, you can do it, right? All you got to do is just go, put your foot down, get on with it, right? Others would have different styles. Some are very informational. Okay, so if you look at people who are very informational, like, you know what, they're giving out news. I think Geeta is, there you are. That's very informational kind of style of management. There's nothing wrong or right here, just different styles of management. Okay. So everyone would have their own style, and that's absolutely fine. You just gotta see, your vibe attracts your tribe. Okay, so whatever the information or the management style you use is the kind of people you're going to attract. But at the same time, it's always a good practice to have a combination. So let's say if Geeta is more informational, it's a good practice for you to have someone else who is maybe a bit more different style, because then you're going to attract more people. Does that make sense?
Yes, Jack.
Okay, so maybe one of your employees has a different style, and you allow him or her to create the content around it to be able to attract more people. Okay.
I think that, Jack, the purpose, what you said is basically something, of course, take it as a tip from you with regards to having to add some values to the people to make sure, okay, you're not selling anything.
And I'm kind of, yeah, you're attracting people towards the business. Remember, through everything that I'm sharing, it's attracting and signing them up to something, so you could potentially bring them to a point where they work closely with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Seti, let me ask you this question. Now, the fifth element on this is the corporate strengths. Okay, Seti, if I was to ask you, what are the corporate strengths you have, would you be able to list them?
And when you say list, how many do you want listed?
No, it's not about how many. My question is, can you list your corporate strengths? Let's say 3 or 5.
Top of my head, yeah, quite easily. Experience.
Would you mind sharing?
Yeah, experience, deliverability, accountability, So our clients keep us accountable, and we've got very good systems in place. So that again, if someone asks
corporate strength,
if someone asks me for something within seconds, I'm not doing it. Yeah. It's literally going out to the right person. They would then deliver, and that's our strength. Yeah.
Tanuji, would you be able to list maybe 3 or 4 for us in your business, corporate strengths?
Yeah, we have the, I would say, the synergy in the team. We have the, the details, experienced, detailed experience on the subject. And we have the very followed up customer service, which actually, allow or help us a lot in terms of retaining the customers.
Oh, yeah. That's very important.
Yeah, because that's our one of the key things, because it's not about the understanding, it's about the looking after and understanding more in detail. And the biggest strength we have actually achieved, and I think that has helped a lot, is multilingual firm.
Multilingual,
we have a team of
major strength.
It makes a lot more easy for us to tap the varied market.
That's right. In fact, in your location, that is actually the major strength you have.
Because we have a lot of, apart from Asians, we have a lot of Europeans and East Russians and South Africans. So that helps a lot. So my intention had always been to have a team who could have we could have that sort of advantage.
That's
which is
fantastic.
Good. So I have seen many firms in the area, they are only based like one language only. Either English or local like Indian language. But then that limits. We don't want limits. We want to just have a free welcoming to everyone. Yeah, so these are quite the ones which have been working.
Guys, can you see that for you to be able to attract, and you can attract in any way and by any means, and that is for example, Tanuji, he's based in Hounslow. Hounslow is very, very diverse, right? Majority in Hounslow are either Asians, so Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, or they're Eastern Europeans, right? A majority of population is Eastern Europeans in Hounslow, and that is a major corporate strength in his case. Okay, he can easily be speaking to someone and saying, he may not be able to speak in English. He can easily say, what's your first language, and he can just give that phone to one of his other employees. Okay, that is a major attraction and major benefit, corporate strength there, guys. You gotta sit down and list your corporate strengths, and how is that conveyed in your marketing, guys? Does that make sense? Okay, so if it is not conveyed in your marketing material, it's of absolutely no use. Okay, everything that we are discussing here at some point or the other needs to be conveyed in your marketing. Now, let me share with you one thing that I learned from Dean Gracios, right? The person who runs the most ads, different ads, is the one who will attract the most customers. Dean Gracios would normally shoot about 3 to 4 ads a day to attract customers to his business. Can you imagine 1,000 ads in a single business? Raise your hand if you have more than 10 ads in a year. Good. Tanuji, you have more than 10 ads? No. Right? Seti, can I ask you, how many ads would you normally have in a year?
Yeah, okay. We have it daily, bro. We're probably sending out around about 6, 7 a day.
But those are emails. I'm talking about different ads. So practically as if you're seeing, like for example, you have an ad banner behind you, right?
Yeah.
And I mean different ad banners.
Yeah,
we've
got this, obviously, when you come in the office. Let me just show you guys in case you don't walk it for. Apologies, it's a little bit of a mess. Can you see?
Yeah, we can see that.
So those boards are on the streets all around us.
Yes, but Seti, let me rephrase my question for you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about different ads. Okay. An ad could be, I think you've got something in front of you. Okay. So what do I mean by ad is you're conveying different messages through your ads. Okay. And that's every day. So for example, it could be, for example, for Tanaji, it could be multilingual accountancy practice, right? These are the languages, you know, the experience of 20 years, or for that matter, you're sitting with your client and you're shooting a video saying, you know, this client just saved himself 20 grand in taxes, right? Or for that matter, anything. You just have to be, with the ads, you can be as creative as possible. Okay. But my point is that creating like 3 or 4 ads a day and putting that out there to your network. Okay. That's how extreme it needs to be when it comes to marketing. Okay. So the more you do, the better it is for you. Okay. That can be through podcasts, that can be through your videos, that can be through your, you know, WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups or your email lists or your, you know, text messaging, or regardless of what channel you're using, or social media channels, whatever you're using, you got to put out as many ads as possible, because the more you put out is the more people you're going to attract. Okay. And then obviously you want to make sure that the less you pay for the ads, the better it is. If you do an ad on a radio show or a TV channel, then obviously you're going to pay for it. But these social media channels, these tools that we have available, they're all for free, right? That we don't pay much for it, right? Okay. But the more ads you do, the more people you're going to attract. And Seti, just so you know, for you, we are talking about different ads. I mean, literally different ads. I mean, for example, as little as I could give this recorded video and get one of my team members to split this video into 100 parts, and every single one of them becomes a marketing ad. Does that make sense? Okay. If you look at, for example, what's his name? Gary Vee, for example, right? You look at his videos. Do you think those videos are shot like you see a 2-minute video or a 3-minute video, and you see tens of them? In some cases, they are shot in a single day. All they're doing is they're giving that to him to split them up in short parts, and they're all ads. Does that make sense? Right? So you got to do that. You got to make sure that you have multiple ads in place, regardless of the situation you're in a day. You could be simply in a meeting and saying, you know what, this guy just, you know, I gave him a session. This guy is about to save, I don't know, whatever it is. Or, you know, in fact, an ad could be as simple as you're looking at an ad of a different company and you make a video saying, you know what, I think I could use this ad for myself. And you're actually saying that ad. Does that make sense? So while you're looking at an ad of a different company and you're making a video and you're talking about how you can create an ad banner, that becomes an ad in itself. Okay? Very, very important, guys. So we were actually at corporate strengths, but you gotta convey your corporate strengths in multiple ways, from multiple angles, in the most creative ways you can imagine. Okay. Encouragement and motivation will never ever be old or boring. It will always be interesting, because people at any given time need more motivation. In fact, motivation is something you need every day, right? So if you're creating an ad or if you're creating a video based on motivation, that's always going to work to some extent or the other anyway. Okay. The sixth in the element is your staff, right? Now, remember, just because you have a staff that is doing your operations or any other aspects of your business doesn't mean that they're not doing marketing for you. Remember, guys, this, okay? Every single person in your company, including you, is a salesman, is someone who is selling a product or a service. You must train your staff in terms of, and I mean every single member of your staff, okay? Regardless of what is it that they cover, they should be trained to do marketing and sales to be able to sell your products and services. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, Jack.
Okay. Because if every person in the company is not doing sales, you've got a major, major disadvantage. Okay. You have a specific sales team or whatever it is, but you gotta have every person trained, at least to some extent, to be able to do sales for your company. Okay. They should even have the authority to say, you know what, for the first year, let's say you charge 2 grand for the year or 10 grand for the year. They should have the authority to say, you know, for the first year, we'll give you a discount of 20%. They should have the authority to make that decision. Does that make sense? Okay. If your inner circle membership is £1 a day, your other inner circle members should have the authority to give discounts. So now you just don't have one person making the sale. You should have every person connected to the company be able to make a sale on behalf of you. Does that make sense? Yes? No?
Yes, Jack.
Thank you. So that's your staff. Now down to the most important thing, which cannot be covered in, forget a session, it cannot be covered in a month, which is shared values, okay? Which actually creates the culture in the company, okay? And that is normally very, very easily seen by people outside the company, okay? You may be sitting in the company, not being able to realize, but people who are your customers or people who are potentially thinking of signing up with you or your network can always see through what the company culture is, or what the potential leader of the company or the person who's kind of leading the show is planning to do, or what the vision is. Okay. But it's your job to convey those shared values, not just to your employees and people who are connected to you, but in your marketing material. Okay. One of the questions I get asked by most of the reps is, what kind of content do I create? I think this should give you enough material for the rest of your life. Okay. You got to create multiple ads. You got to convey your strengths. You got to play on your strengths. You got to just really convey the values, not just to you, like I said, to your employees and the culture that you're creating or the vision that you have, but to everyone potentially connected. And remember, it's not just about the people that you're connected with. It's who they are connected with that you can potentially bring in. Okay. I'm going to give you an example of a case study. Okay. Once there was a delivery to be made to someone. The delivery was late. The person was really frustrated. Okay. He made a call. The call went to the complaints department. It fortunately on that day went to the CEO. That particular complaint went to the CEO of the company. Okay. This is a company of 500 plus people. The CEO decided to take that delivery in his own car and drive down to deliver himself. Okay. He went down, he gave the package to the person. The person already knew the CEO of the company. And then not just that he made the delivery, he actually got a 1 year worth of extras, so bonuses of the company on the products. Okay. Do you think that that person who was complaining maybe a couple of hours ago now has got the reason to talk about this company and the products and the CEO for a long period of time? Has he got the reason? Yes, no?
Yes.
Tanaji, you're saying no. I'd like to hear your thoughts here.
I mean, again, it depends on his experience again.
Yes, it depends on multiple factors here. Yes. I'm just giving you a case study here.
See, in general opinion, probably yes, but again,
it's not straightforward. No, of course not.
Yeah, it's not so, because you see, it's a very dynamic market. Expectations changes every now and then.
Every day, for that matter. Yes.
Yes.
But see, the point I'm trying to make is that particular CEO going completely out of his way to do something for someone who was making a complaint, okay, has actually given a reason to someone to talk about your company for the next good few years, okay? That story was also covered by the news. Do you think it was covered by the news or not? I just told you it was covered by the news, okay? But have you given a news to a journalist to cover? Have you given one person to talk about your company for the rest of his life for the next few years, right?
Sorry, I'm cutting you off, Jack. This particular case study has always has been a focus in the media for a long time, and in many textbooks,
Yes.
where for the MBAs and all that.
Yes.
And apparently there is a there's a theory, there's a theory about this kind of I would say this particular thing. There are odds and basically for and against.
Oh yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
no
doubt about that, guys. Remember, everything that I'm sharing would have some or the other disadvantages at the back of it. Remember, you need to focus on the strengths. I agree with you completely there. Okay. Let me share with you something that I do on a regular basis. Forget about a case study, external case study. I'm going to give you an example of what I tend to normally do. Someone calls me up and says, you know what, I need your advice. Okay. Now, I know personally, for every 100 people that I give a session to, only barely 2 people or 3 people ever actually do business with me. Okay. I still give my time as much as I can. It doesn't mean that I'd stay on a call for an hour, right? But I'd stay on a call for between 15 minutes to half an hour. And I'd give 100 sessions before actually I would have 2 or 3 people ever do business with me. Okay, this is my formula. Okay. But do you think I'm giving those 97 people a reason to talk about me? Yes or no? That's exactly why, Lavanya, that's exactly why PEN's network is growing. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm really giving out time to people where I may or may never make any money. But because, and I think I've shared in the reps group previously, where actually people have sent me messages that, because of you, I'm doing this, or because of you, I did this or whatever, right? And many of those people haven't done business with me yet.
Yeah.
I think I've shared this in the groups, right?
You did.
Okay. So the reason people are connected and reason people keep asking me, can you give me the group link? In fact, this happens pretty much every day now. Has been happening for the past good 6 months, that every day I get a message saying, can you send me this group's link? I want to add my business partner. I want to add a friend of mine. I want to add an acquaintance or some or the other. This is like a regular practice every single day. And this is only because I give sessions out and I don't expect anything back. Okay, this is a regular practice. Every single day, there is one or the other session given. By the end of the year, I could have given 700 to 1,000 sessions, while I've only signed up maybe 2 or 3% for business, and those 97 or 98% of the people would go out and talk with other people regarding what PEN is all about and what is it that we do, and what, in fact, in some cases, they go out and tell people, ring Jack, he will give you a session. And I do 15 minutes to half an hour. And I don't absolutely expect anything back. I do ask them to sign up to Inner Circle or, whatever it is, but I don't expect anything back from them. I just give a session out, I share all my knowledge, and that's how it's got to be. Okay. But remember, we were at the 7th point, which is sharing your values, not just to your internal, employees or your Inner Circle team or your representatives or your network, but to everyone, including your marketing material, potentially allowing you to create the right culture. Does that make sense? Anyone has any questions so far? I could potentially take every single one of these 7 and talk about it for a full day, because every single one of them is correlated to other aspects of the business. Okay. And it affects remember, every part of your business is correlated to every single part affecting every single part of your business, every aspect of your business. Does that make sense? Your marketing and your sales team and your operations team and your after sales team and your production team or manufacturing team or whatever it is, depending on the context that you are in, is correlated to each other. If one is not performing well, the other is one is going to get affected. And the shared values will allow you to be able to create the right culture, allowing you to scale much faster. Does that make sense? Can you imagine not just your sales and marketing team out there creating ads, but your operations team sitting with a client while delivering, making a video, putting it out there, because, or not necessarily putting it out there themselves, but sending it to the marketing team. Does that make sense? Maybe in your case, Tanaji, one of your employees is sitting with someone, serving them, I don't know, you just saved him from losing 100 grand, right? You make a video, ask that person, can we make a testimonial video, if you don't mind, for 30 seconds? One of your employees already knows this, they make a video, they send it to you, you put it out there. Okay, Sati, in your case, maybe someone went to do a viewing and they got really, really good value, almost like they got saved because of some wrong compliance. And your employee just made a video of 30 seconds. You take that, it goes to your marketing, it's sent out. Does that make sense, guys? Give people the reason to connect with you, give people the reason to get more attention, get more attention from in your company, give people the reason to kind of come closer to you, one step at a time. Does that make sense?
Yes, Jack.
Anyone has any questions?
Nothing.
I could look at any business in this country and I can walk in and I could look at the culture of the company and over a period of time, move it to a space where it becomes more profitable. The culture of the companies actually at the core decide, or the shared values that we're talking about here, actually decide if those businesses are actually going to become profitable or not. Okay, what do I mean by that is that if every single person of your company is as enthusiastic as the leader of the company, is as knowledgeable as the leader of the company, and they are actually providing that full service with all the enthusiasm, with all the energy, you will grow as if there was no tomorrow, right? You will scale as if literally like crazy. But it's not easy to create that culture. People pay millions to consultants to improve the culture of the companies, the shared values. It's almost like the value would come from the leader of the company. It needs to be conveyed to the CEO, the board of advisors, down to the executive team, down to the management, middle management team, and so on and so forth. People pay hundreds and thousands to create a culture of shared values, and that is clearly communicated to every stakeholder. I didn't say shareholders, I said stakeholders in the company. That's either the suppliers or the management or the prospects or the clients or in the marketing, everywhere, guys. Does that make sense? I know some of you here might be thinking we're still a team of 1, 2, 5, 10, but without this, you cannot scale, guys. If you are, I mean, let me just take one example, okay? Let's say in Seti's case, right? He decides one single decision of creating 3 ads a day. That's over 1,000 ads in a year, right? Today. And those ads can be created with as simple as like 30 seconds of each, and that's a minute and a half from his mobile phone, and that needs to be spread out to the network. Do you think he can grow much, much faster? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Likewise, Tanaji, in your business, if you're creating 3 ads a day, and I'm not just saying 3, you could create 30 a day, but let's start with 3 a day. Okay. And that is conveyed to every person, you know, you've got you maybe hire a marketing team in India or any of these Asian countries, and these guys are really working hard to spread out your message every single day. Do you think you can grow much faster? You could potentially hire a team of 5 people in a country like India for as little as, I don't know, £2,000 a month, right? And they could be bringing you £2,000 a day's income if you just make that decision today.
You know, I had a dream of this actually.
Right. Okay. I am here to make your dreams come true, guys. I think you already know that. Okay. And I'm not saying for you, because remember, when your dreams come true, automatically I win anyway. Okay. I may win from multiple angles. Okay. But does that make sense, guys? Okay. I can assure you that that's exactly what we are doing, either on a smaller scale or a larger scale, or in different ways, in different means. I'm sharing with you exactly what I'm pursuing. And in fact, you can already, most of you can already see through what is it that I'm doing anyway, right? Any questions so far? Again, and then we can stop the recording. All right. Have a fantastic day, guys. Those who are watching, that's the session for today.